Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another live stream brought to you by Crusty Canuck. That's right, it's April 11th, 2023. Hope you're having a good weekend. At least it was a good Easter weekend. For my Christian friends out there, happy Easter. To my Jewish friends, happy belated Passover. And to my Muslim friends, look forward to an eventful Ramadan for you. Anyhow, here is the live stream. Please stay tuned.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me.
Yes, sir.
There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthless.
From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast, a Canadian veteran's point of view on political, social, economic issues, and life. Here's Crusty.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Crusty Canuck live stream for this April 11th, 2023. How is all doing out there? Please don't be shy. Feel like I can hear what you see. Click like and all that good stuff. Comment, subscribe, share this stuff all around your social media platform. Interesting weekend, to say the least. Interesting time. Now, this past week has been full of BS, especially when it comes to identity politics, especially when it comes to politics itself, democracy, freedom, capitalism. I'm seeing a lot of garbage out there in regards to anti-capitalists. Sorry, I'm not trained in economics, but I know making money is a good thing, especially if you do what you can to keep your family alive, your business, and your dreams and ambitions alive too. So money's not a terrible thing, ladies and gentlemen. And this week, especially with the whole Bud Light controversy, Jack Daniels controversy, and all that good stuff. I mean, honestly, who really cares? Really, like, is anybody going to lose any sleep? It just goes to prove how disingenuous people are going to be to make a product, right? To sell a product. And that's fine, There's lots of people out there that enjoy the taste of Bud Light and have a good time with it, and they're not going to think any less of people because of it. I just find it really, really odd that a man dresses up as a lady, says he's been a girl now for a year because he dresses up as a girl, is selling beer. Can you say one lucky son of a bitch to be able to be endorsed by any company? Like I say again, and like I've said in all my videos, ladies and gentlemen, this podcast does have some swearing in it, and I smoke cigarettes. So listener and viewer discretion is advised. And I give the odd gesture too. So, if you're a little too sensitive and don't like swear words, and hate cigarette smoke, don't worry, I'm not blowing it in your face. I'm blowing it here and I'm blowing it there. So anyway, feel free to ask me any questions. This is why I put the live stream on there, to you, my wonderful audience, you great, wonderful people out there, to give me some insight. Let me know what's on your mind and how you feel, and just to pick my brain a bit. Let me know what's on your mind, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be shy. Don't be shy at all. I'll be here for the next 45 minutes to an hour. And feel free to ask me anything you'd like to know. There is no reason why you can't ask me anything. That's if you want to. You don't have to, but feel free. Take part in this conversation. That's why I put these live streams up here so you can see me in my shtick. Yes, I know I wear lots of black, and I wear this toque for a very good reason, because it's my brand and I love my country. If you want to see my bald head, check out my other videos. It's there, bright like a light bulb. So anyway, carrying on with this week's events. Yes, and I guess today in big news, the Pierre Elliott Trudeau Foundation, their CEO and most of their staff quit. Just like that. I know Twitter's lighting up with all these what ifs and all the pro Trudeaus out there going, oh my God, what's going on here? Oh, it's the conservative conspiracy. And my logic is this, that if you're a notable charity and your CEOs quit, your CEOs stop for some reason, there's something else in the mix, And mainstream media is basically saying it's because of the $200,000 that the Communist Chinese Party gave to the Trudeau Foundation. So who knows exactly what the scoop is, but there's supposed to be a public inquiry that's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. Of course, it's a friend of Trudeau that's going to look into this, the special rapporteur, rat-tat-tooey rapporteur, that's going to look into it with a very stern look. Yeah, we've all seen that bullshit before, ladies and gentlemen, right? I remember the time when liberals were actually liberal, whether it was slack and idle Alaska days or not, they were still very, very liberal-minded people. Live and let live, all that good stuff. It didn't faze me who was this or who was that, and it didn't faze me who was gay, who was straight. What fazed me is that we actually had people that wanted to lead, who held their principles dear, the scruples to heart, and actually promoted that. Now, it's safe to say the past 5 years, well, actually since the inception, since the last election of 2015, I haven't seen the Liberal Party do anything totally liberal. Honestly. And there might be people out there that disagree with me, so be it. If you do disagree, please let me know right here in this platform. One of the reasons why I go live is so I can get to you, my audience, the wonderful audience I do have, to come out and say, or some new subscribers, what have you. Come out and ask me. Talk to me. Talk. Get the words going. Talk to me about something. Hey, how you doing? How you feeling? What's on your mind? Care for a waffle? Want a piece of cheesecake? Care for a cup of coffee? You know what I mean? Get your voices out there. I know C11 and C18 are still in the works as we speak, because our federal government deems that online activity shows such as mine and other shows out there, other creators, other great Canadian content, Greg Wycliffe, Daniel Boardman, the fine people at True North, the fine people at Rebel News, and other independent journalists alike, especially here in Alberta. There's quite a bit of independent journalism coming through the woodwork, and that's fantastic. And all the power to them. Right, all the power to him to get it out there, get it out in the open, get the words going, get the questions going. And I'm sure we've all seen the video of Jyoti Gondek there, the mayor of Calgary, stepping aside when Keane Bexty, Mr. Keane Bexty, used to work for Rebel News. Now he created his own channel, the Counter Signal. It's a pretty good show. I suggest you check it out too. But he more or less asked her a question in regards to how she stood on defunding the police, and yet now she wants the police to crack down on the unlawful process of people protesting Drag Queen Story Hour. And she just kind of stood there and looked at him, and then just kind of walked away and snubbed him like she was above that somehow. Now, the way I look at it in public office, regardless if you're asked a question or not, you bloody well answer it. Regardless if you agree with this broadcaster or that writer or that reporter, you're in the public eye. People are watching you. And still, you just snub it off, right? Now, Mr. Gondek is quite the hypocrite, because not even 10 years ago, she was all for Alberta oil and gas, all for getting it to market. Now, a big 180 when she, prior to her election, prior to her campaign, as far as I know, too, dead against it, right? So anyone out there who supports this kind of politics, this kind of policy, give your head a shake and get a grip of reality here. Okay, it doesn't matter if you sit on the Liberal bench or the Conservative bench or the Commie Orange NDP bench or the Green bench. You're in the public eye, you own your shit. It's that simple. All right. Like I say, don't need to like and hear what you see. Please click like, subscribe, and share this content all over your social media platform. This is Crusty Canuck Q&A live for 11th of April. 2023. I'm your host, Crusty Canuck. And I had some good news. I recently just joined a page or a group out of the UK. And it's basically called Grow Radio. So any of my UK listeners out there, you'll be able to find the Crusty Canuck podcast on growradio.uk. Grow as in plants growing kind of thing, not grow in some weird social justice warrior abbreviation. The actual word grow. And I had a nice talk with the owner-operator there. And Gary, if you're listening, cheers to you, buddy. Thank you very much for letting me have the opportunity to join your network. He's got a relatively decent setup there. And he welcomes all podcasts, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm not endorsing this man. I just looked at the site and going, oh, that's pretty cool. So next couple of weeks, my episodes will be on that network on a weekly basis, too. So I'm branching out. So if you like the Crusty Canuck podcast, you're happy living in Britain, to my British friends and fans out there, cheers to you. And give me a shout if you can too. All my contact information is there. And reach out, send me an email or whatever you want to do, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, like I say, I'm Crusty Canuck on this Q&A live for the next 45 minutes to an hour. You'll have yours truly here to take all your questions and rant and rave about today's current issues. So, from Menacing Muskrat, let's see here. With the collapsing of the Trudeau Foundation happening, do you think this will taken down Justin Castro? Well, I think it will. I think it will take him down a notch, but he's got too much of a fan base and too many connections to hold on for dear life. We've seen this example before. I remember Maroney did it back in the late 80s when we had that little recession there that took us right into about 1990-91, where he jacked up the price of tobacco and alcohol, and while incorporating the GST too, right? So he doubled the cost of our vices, and he increased daily tax. So I think it will. Well, there's a lot more issues that have tarnished Justine's halo and his whole party's halo too. But to answer your question, Menacing Muskrat, yes, I think this will be. And I think there might be a no confidence. That's just my hypothesis. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Don't quote me on it, but my best guess is yes. Right? There was something that I just never trusted about that guy to begin with, honestly. Like when you look at the way this man was raised, okay, everything he ever desired was there for him. It was. Right? It was. So it's a man like that, his whole party, I think, highly deserves to be humbled. I'm not going to wish pain or death on any of those people. Not at all. I with the fiber of my soul, within my heart and the love for this nation, I want to see every one of those members, especially the Liberal Party of Canada, get really fucking humbled. So yeah, I think it's the start of the downfall of the Justin Castro regime. So yeah, from Delta Mail there. Yes, well, he'll simply pay his ethics commissioner $100 and it should be okay. I think the price is $300, but I see what you're getting at, though. Yes, exactly. Just a slap on the wrist and oh my, I'll never do it again. Yeah, we know how it works. Anyways, gentlemen, thank you all for coming out. Once again, if you like and hear what you see, please click like and subscribe. Follow the little red thing there that's going across your screen there. Comment and share all over your social media platforms. So, another comment from Mr. Menacing Muskrat. Trudeau Foundation is collapsing because donations made by China. 2016, meaning that they had influence in the 2016 election. 2015 prior. Yeah, there's a link I have on my Facebook page. If you want to check out my Facebook page there, Menacing Muskrat, there's a link there on Who Runs Canada, and the amount of influence that China has had since Papa Trudeau, since about 1971, right? So there's quite a bit of influence from both sides. Interesting, to say the least. But yeah, quite a things, yeah. Yeah, well, it's good to see you coming up, Menacing Muskrat. Everyone give Menacing Muskrat a round of applause there. I'll give that to you. Well done, sir. Good questions. Don't be shy, folks. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me anything you'd like to know. Keep it clean, right? And no racist BS. I don't buy that garbage. I've had a few people on my Twitter feed, pull out the typical systematic racist or white supremacist bullshit. And it's getting tiresome. So if you're going to engage me on Twitter or engage me in anything that you see me on, ask your question. Give me your point, proof, and explanation, and back it up with your hard data. Not just your speculation or what your social justice warrior gender studies professor tells you to say. I want to hear what your opinion is. I like critical thought. And if you beat me in a conversation, chances are I'll probably stand there and go, okay, I sit corrected. I've been humble before. I can be humble again. What say you? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Oh, my corrections. Ms. Muskrat. My apologies. See, I sit corrected. I just proved a point. Thank you very much, Miss Muskrat. It's appreciated. Can I call you menacing? Can I call you ma'am? Now give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you very much, Miss Muskrat, for that. I'm sorry I didn't see that. Oh, okay, it's right there. My fault. See, I don't mean to offend anybody, but just try to be realistic too. But you've got to take that risk of offending people sometimes to get the point across. So feel free, ladies and gentlemen, ask me anything you'd like to know. I'll be here for the next another 45 minutes at least anyway. So this beautiful Tuesday, the snow is clearing in my part of Alberta. It's getting a bit warmer, but at my job, it's going to be messier. So I work with cattle, so it's going to be a lot of, pardon my French, a lot of shit I've got to go through. So coffee time. Time for another smoke, they say, eh? Yeah. I've reached out to some people, some bigger bigwigs out there too, and I haven't had too many responses yet. But if you have any connections to any conservative or any libertarian podcasters, right? By all means, you have my permission out there to pass my name along too. I would love to really sit and have a good conversation with more of these individuals too. Just my work schedule keeps me working, keeps me away from the online life, for a good 10 days. So it keeps me out of the loop for a bit. So, but if any of you individuals out there want to pass my name up to any of these podcasters, please feel free to, ladies and gentlemen, too. Let's see here. Ms. Muskrat. Remember the pedo symbol for the true? No, I don't actually. If you have it, please show it there, Ms. Muskrat. Can you be my moderator? I've never been asked that before. I'm kind of flattered in a weird way. Sure. Can you be a little more specific, Miss Muskrat? Oh, and this mug, by the way, before you ask, this was a gift from my sister a couple of years back when I started, a few years back when I started the podcast. I think she said she got it at Walmart. But if you want some Crusty Canuck mugs, just check my links in the description of some of my videos and check out the shop if you'd like to. In fact, I'll probably put the shop link up here in the chat columns so you can copy and paste whatever. I've got t-shirts, I got hats, I got mugs. If you follow me on Instagram too, usually 3 days of the week, an advert goes up where I'm advertising some kit and some catchy sayings, but by all means. Miss Moderator, if you'd like to drop me a link or two, please just send it to my email for this. Here, if you don't have my email, I'll put it in the chat columns, ladies and gentlemen. And you can send me all the information you want. Like I say, I'm here live, ladies and gentlemen. I'm live here 11th of April, 2023. Beautiful, gorgeous spring day. For some of you that didn't catch my last episode, episode 204, I put together Saturday. My plan is usually when I have time off, on my off cycle, I try to get out a good, at least a 30-minute plus episode out there for you all. And I try to do a live stream so you can, stay interested. Keep the conversation going. It's my point of view, your point of view, all that good stuff. And feel free to let me know what's on your minds, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I'm here. So, I'm getting points of view out there. So, that's what we should do. Constantly get our points of view. And as always, we always have a choice too when it comes to what we do online. It's just the same as reading a book. If you're reading a newspaper or anything, you just glance the pages, read what you want, and then you get rid of it. And if you don't like what you read and hear and see, well, no one's forcing you to watch it. Nobody is forcing you to watch or do anything. It's like these podcasts, or it's like any other video series out there. I think Dylan Mulvaney is a very, very lost individual. Now, I'm all for freedom of expression. I don't care how he lives his life. I don't care what she does. But I'm not going to believe that the sun is the moon, the moon's the sun, because that's your narrative. Do we not tell children lies all the time. And then those children usually grow up out of it, i.e. Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, all that good stuff, right? It just gives them excitement. It's wonderful to see the look in kids' faces when they're excited about something. That's always good. But when you have a grown-ass man that's in his late 20s and swears to the world that he's a girl, I think there's a problem. So that's just me, though, ladies and gentlemen. That's my opinion. You know, I'm not going to force my will on anybody who wants to express themselves. But then in return, I'm not going to buy a lot of this techno garbage or pseudoscientific garbage based on different chromosomes and different gene splittings and stuff like that. It sounds like a really bad Saturday Night Live skit, right? We know where we come from. You know, we come from the womb of a lady, a natural woman. When someone says, "Oh, you can't define a woman," yeah, I can. And guess who else can define women? Women. So I'll leave it at that, right? You know, a functioning adult female, right? I know, because I married one. So feel free to ask me anything you want to know, ladies and gentlemen. Feel free. Feel free. Don't be shy. Alex, I'm going to be here for another 40 minutes or so. Yeah, so please. Don't be shy. Come out and say hello. How are you? What's up, Crusty? Care for a waffle? All that good stuff. So, but if you want to follow me too, ladies and gentlemen, you can follow me on Instagram. You can also follow me on YouTube, Facebook, Grow Radio out of the UK in the next couple of weeks. You can also follow me on Getter. I haven't put anything on Getter in a little while, but I am on Getter. All right, and on the tube and on my hosting platform, Podbean. So you can find me there, right? Don't be shy. Come out and say hello, right? I'll see what you sent me there, Miss Muskrat. Excuse me. Okay. Oh, you haven't sent me anything. Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. Oh. That's fine. So if you want to send me an email, do feel free. The email address is there, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be shy. You can ask me a question too. While I'm working, you can always reach out to me, send me a message, send me an email, and I could probably get all the emails I need and answer them on my next podcast if need be. And it doesn't matter if it's a good point or a bad point, whatever. You want to ask me something, feel free to. I'll do my best to open up my book of knowledge and then share it with you all. So, coffee. I like my coffee. Yeah, beats drinking booze all day, that's for sure. We'll go back to that place again. Yep. Yeah, I got a few people signing on. That's good. I got about 5 people now. That's just okay. It's a start. I'm not complaining. Please feel free to ask me anything you'd like to know, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I say I'm back in my work schedule as of tomorrow. I do 10 days on, and I usually get 4 days off. And during that 4 days I have off, that's where I do all my administration. That's where I do all my bill paying. And if I got to talk to somebody important, if I got to go see the doctor, that's when I get that all done. So. Let's see, Derek Sittler. Any relation to Daryl Sittler? Toronto Maple Leaf great. Hey, all from Millbrook, Peterborough, Ontario. Welcome, Derek. Welcome. Here's a round of applause for you. Welcome to the show, buddy. Welcome to the show. Feel free to ask me anything you'd like to know, my friend. Well, I try to be an open book. I try to be transparent. That's such a fancy word. Too bad our politicians don't buy it, eh? Yeah, they don't buy transparency. I think transparency is some kind of nouveau identity crisis, eh? Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I had to throw in the canned laughter in there just to give that dramatic effect. And I like this little board of mine there too. I'm eventually going to set up my locals page too. I've said that before, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a matter of getting the time, getting everything done the way I want to do it. In the next couple of weeks too, I'll be having some new intros done. There's a fine gentleman out of Calgary who does some great video work for me. He's got some decent prices and all that too. I'm not gonna say who he is out of his privacy, but he's a good lad, and he's the logos that you see here, he's done for me. A couple of lads have volunteered and given me the Crusty Canuck logo there too. I don't have permission to advertise his brand just as of yet, but he's a good lad. So there's some people who have actually made this podcast really worth it, not because of their opinions, but because of what they did for me. So I want to thank them. Round of applause. All that good stuff too. From Buzz Mooski, here's a question. Good. Opinion on the current situation in Ukraine. Okay, well, I'll try to summarize it. I don't like bullies picking on little guys. But when I look at our military, based on my own experience, and I'm not going to say lived experience, because we certainly don't have a fucking dead experience, right? Okay. So based on my 20 years and based on people I've served with that served 25, 30 years, why are we so prone to giving our stuff away? See, if our defense minister, Anita Arnand, can give away 4 of our tanks and some APCs and lots of bullets, lots of cash and lots of beans, why the fuck can they not feed our troops that are in Poland, assisting in training these individuals to fight the Russian onslaught? Right? Any war, Buzz Mooski, is a dirty fucking war. I don't care what anyone said. I've worked with guys who thought it was an exciting time. It was a great time. But regardless of how anyone feels about battle, it has its repercussions. I know. Okay. And there's a few lads that aren't with us today because of those repercussions. Won't go into great detail, but I think you catch my point. And when it comes to our government tooting the virtual horn, it pisses me off because there are men and women today struggling in the armed forces to pay their bills, to get groceries in their fridges too. Right? And our government sits in Ottawa and jerks off to the virtue dance and spends and spends and spends and spends and spends on the welfare of a handful of others outside of Canada rather than here at home. So I'm all for Ukraine kicking Russia's ass, but I'm also for let's look after ourselves too. Hope that answers your question, Buzz. Good to know. Good to go. Yeah, I like the GTG. Good to go. Right. You know, and if any of my audience out there has trouble understanding the fact that we've had a tiny military for a very, very long time, it's just not because of our population. It's because of the lack of procurement and lack of respect over the past, I would say, well, pretty damn close to 50 years. Because Pierre Elliott Trudeau never really liked our troops, never really liked the military, unless it was needed for something like the FLQ crisis or any kind of disaster, right? Oh, okay, Miss Muskrat. Thank you. Thank you very much. And that's the symbol from the Trudeau Foundation. Just let me take a gander here. Okay. Okay, just send it to my my email. I don't see it here. All right. Okay. Okay, I don't see it yet, Miss Menacing Muskrat. I might have to resend it again. You got the right email, right? CrustyBCanuck67 @gmail. Okay. Derek Sittler, again, we've had a belly full of proxy wars and sacrificed patriots. Well, sacrificed patriots and doctors and nurses and people that spoke out the past 3 years against the buffoonery known as the pandemic from the shed bear bug, right? I don't know. I just don't want to see any more people get hurt. I don't want to see good people lose their jobs and businesses because some fucking bureaucrat can't get his or her shit together, right? You notice this past April 1st that they all had a raise, right? All these politicians and government workers are like, now the tax people, the CRA, is planning to go on strike at the end of this month too, if their demands aren't met. Now, I know people that work for that union that aren't members of the CRA. They work in the different branches. And I can understand wanting the quality of life. But when I think of the CRA demanding things, they're the first person to pick up the phone if you owe them $1,200. If they owe you $1,200, and they take their sweet fucking time. So I don't buy their spiel, right? When I was on my campaign with the Veterans Coalition Party, I don't believe in making campaign promises because there's nothing more disingenuous than hearing somebody wants the job. I promise, and I promise this. No, I will fight for proper equality and fairness, meaning that everyone who wants a job should have the opportunity to get a job. I will fight for people that want to be heard. And I also fight for something called pragmatism that we don't see from our leadership. We don't see the pragmatism when it comes, well, it's been another year. Our economy's gone to shit. Our military can't do much. Let's give ourselves a raise, shall we? Yeah. Get on that like a fat kid and a smarty. No, that's not the thing. The issue that I promoted and the statement I made to the constituents in my riding was, I would gladly do everything in my power for half of the salary. And at that time, half the salary was $90,000, right? And considering the amount of time I'd have to be away from home, away from my wife, away from my friends here. Now I might be close to my family. Most of my natural family's in Ontario, so it'd be just a drive here, drive there. That's fine. But my family is here with my wife. So I'd be sacrificing time and effort away from her and my livelihood here, representing the people, which I've got no issue to do. I have no problem doing that. But when I see these guys talk about pay raises and little perks, how many of these elected officials stood up and said, no, we don't need a pay raise. Let's put it back in the government kitty. Let's put it back in here. Now, I don't care what charities you give to. And I don't care if you're PC, PPC, CP this, NDP, Greenie, Les Blocs, Liberal, or the 1-2 buckle my shoe party. The honorable thing would have been saying no pay raises until we get this shit sorted out. That's the honorable thing. That's just my stance, though, too. Right? Now, what do you say, ladies and gentlemen? Please let me know. Right? Ask me right here on YouTube, Facebook, and Rumble, respectively, too. I'm not getting too many Rumbles come out here, but I want to say thank you again to my new subscribers on the Rumble channel. Thank you, Rumble.com. Thank you very much. I got another 5 subscribers. So kick ass on that part, too. Hats off to you lads and ladies out there as well, too. I will sort this email out shortly there, Miss Muskrat. Okay. Derek Sittler, again. Been there every step of this last 3 years. We need resolution for peace and progress. I agree. That unfortunately requires leadership and movement. We are slowly lacking right now. Hope springs eternal through. Yes, we are lacking that leadership, right? If you've watched any of the in-committee hearings in regards to relations with China, I'm sure Rebel Media still has it on file there. But Mr. MP Mike Cooper, or is it Derek Cooper? He's a little guy. He kind of talked like this, but he made a point to Miss Jenny O'Connell, one of the PM secretaries. And she was all up in arms because They didn't like his tone. His tone was seemed as misogynistic and sexist. Oh, how dare you speak to me that way? Oh my God. So menacing. Okay, I'll start calling you menacing. Miss Menacing. Sounds like, are you a wrestler? Yeah. Menacing Muskrat. Sorry, don't mean to make fun of you. I think it's awesome. So, yeah. Yes, you're right. Team jerseys mean nothing at this point, too. I think they're all. I think they're all forgetting the simple fact of liberty. Basic fucking liberty. There, I said the F-bomb, ladies and gentlemen. Fucking liberty. Right? The liberty for me to keep my money, pay a minimal tax, you to keep your money, pay a minimal tax. And that's the way it should be. Right? I've said before in the show numerous times, 20% minimal tax, I would say. 20% across the board. 20%. Done. Right? 20 effing percent. And if the government that's elected cannot manage that, then fire them all. Have a legislation saying public consensus says you are not doing your job. You shall step down within 2 weeks. Just like us civvies have to do now. If we want to leave a job, we got to get 2 weeks notice. You don't have to, but that's usually the most that's etiquette and that's preferred method of doing. So there's no bad taste left in your mouth. Your employer doesn't think you're a dink, and you don't think your employers are dink. You know how it goes, right? But of course, there's too much bureaucracy and legislation and procedure, brought to you by the makers of red tape and other bureaucratic bullshit, that keep us in line, to say the least. So, Derek, again, shameful and pointless exercises to calm the masses. Well, they're not really calming anything. So, is that the red ensign behind you? Yes, it is. Miss Menacing. Yes, it is. That was actually given to me by a family member. One of my cousins gave that to me. That's the old red ensign. Yep. And the maple leaf in the center. And, of course, the old Union Jack right on the side there, too. So, good to see you, Colin. Welcome for coming out. Yes. No long time, no talk. Yeah. Well, you're on here now. So, ask me anything you want to know, buddy, by all means. Right. And I'll just check the email again there, too, Miss Menacing. Let's see. It is not here yet, unless I better refresh the page. I could do that. Yeah. It hasn't come through yet. No. Okay. Hasn't come through yet, my dear. So my apologies, but I don't know, maybe my email is straight. I just refreshed the page. I've got some spam, of course. What should I delete? Lots of spam. Has anybody been receiving a lot of spam lately? Go to your junk email inbox there and see all these free spins. A lot of casinos out there. Right? Yeah. A lot of casinos out there trying to scam a few bucks out of you. Has anyone seen the latest Justin Trudeau speech? The Fine People of Canada Proud there on Instagram put that up, where he was telling people on the East Coast that it's good to have credit card debt to help the economy. Has anyone heard that? Right. Let's see here. Okay, I'll take a look again, Miss Menacing. Might take a while. Yeah. I'll take a look again. Yeah, I don't see any symbols. Nothing's come yet. But maybe if you sent the link, via the messenger, that might probably be easier. So. Rainbow coolers. Like, personally, I don't care, if there's rainbows on a beer can or on a bottle of whiskey. It doesn't faze me. What phases me is they're trying to push it as an agenda too, right? I feel bad for the female athletes in a lot of the colleges, especially in the United States, that have earned a scholarship based on their skill and their athletic prowess. And then here comes some guy who puts on, takes a few hormones, puts some makeup on, grows his hair out, or wears a wig and says he's a girl. That bothers me quite a bit, because I'm a firm believer in merit and giving the best person the job. But there's men's sports and there's women's sports. Now, if they want to be progressive, have the trans games. Ooh, wow. There you go. Have the trans games. So everyone who identifies and fancies themselves as a third option or a fourth option, have the trans, right? So if really, honestly, so you got women's division, you got your men's division, and you got your trans division. Why not? Right? What do you guys think? Let me know. Right? Delta Mail says, yes, Dr. James Lindsay. Yes. What is his channel again? I have it. I actually wrote it down. I like his work. When I'm working, I listen to his little speeches and his talks. Yeah, he's great, eh? He's fantastic. Yeah. Yes, that's it. New Discourses. Yes, that's the one. I highly recommend that channel, ladies and gentlemen. Go to YouTube, look up New Discourses. He has some very, very long topics, like long talks, about an hour and a half. Some are 2 hours, some are 3. But it gets to the point of this whole indoctrination BS that started, I think, in the early 60s, especially with the postmodernist movement that happened, especially out of France. Don't blame the French. No, just a few of them were kind of odd, right? Just nuts. Yeah. Yes, or have a different Olympics altogether. The training Olympics. Yes, that works. Sounds like a Python sketch, eh? Upper class for the year. Oh. You know what I mean? So my English friends, if you're listening right now, I think you get my point. Yes, the old Python sketch, upper class twits of the year. The upper class trannies of the year. Sorry, I said trannies, but that's what we used to call them when we were kids. We used to call them transvestites because they're just men who wore women's clothing. That's what they were. But now it's a whole new nouveau. We have to respect us. And, I do. I don't go out of my way to harm anybody who is or who isn't. Okay. But my stance is pretty simple. If you demand I call you something, then what's different than me being called that? That was my rank in the military. Well, when I come into a room, you're gonna come right to attention and say, yes, Sergeant? No, of course not. That'd just be stupid. That's how I identify. That's a good part of my life, right? That's who I was. Part of me still is. When it comes to getting up, going to work on time, doing what I can to help each other out and be a team fucking player, right? But when I see a lot of these people scream to the heavens about pronouns, it's like, really? Your life is going to be so different and so swayed and altered because someone doesn't call you her or Z or Zer or Zonk? I'll play that game. Fine. My pronouns are this: Sparkle and Farkle. No thoy. How is that? Right? Is that cruel? No. It means if you do something with yourself, you still got to take responsibility for yourself. Right? Shit simple. Own your shit. Right? Derek Sittler. Yes. Derek Sittler. Of course. Yes. Hard to believe that my Python is getting transgender. Yeah. The Life of Brian. Yes. I want to have babies. I forget the name he wanted to be called, but it was his right to have babies, even though he couldn't have babies, but we'll just play along with you. You what? Classic Python, and yeah, Life of Brian. They're all sitting trying to get the Romans, and he wanted to have babies, wanted to be a woman. Yeah. Interesting, but I just keep chuckling to myself. Some of the you're not going to find comedy like that anymore, though. That's scary. It's a damn shame that Mr. Jones passed away and Mr. Chapman passed away back in the 80s due to cancer. But it's still you can see these individuals probably still make some great comedy. Regardless of their educational background or not, just the sense of humor is breathtaking. It's as resistance, right? Just fantastic, right? So please, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any more questions, don't be shy. Don't hesitate. Reach out and say hello. What's on your mind? Speak your mind, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we do the live stream for. So you, my wonderful audience, get to see who I am in more of a relaxed atmosphere, right? Live in real time. Seeing something real time is always good. So that's why I put these out there. If a young girl can go live and talk about her feeling and talk about makeup, and I'm talking like a real girl, not just some dude who's gay and wants to spice up his relationship. I'm just talking about, then a cranky old veteran such as myself can come here and talk about life and my facial hair and my coffee and why I don't drink and why I'm married to an exceptionally wonderful and beautiful woman. So that kind of thing. Right? Yeah, well said, Derek. Yeah. Goes to show you can't top a story, copy it. Yeah. True enough. So, ladies and gentlemen, feel free to ask me anything you would like to know. Any more questions for Miss Muskrat? If you're still around, I didn't receive your email as of yet. Right? I'm still, see, that's the thing. It's on the social. It's not on that. It's not on my promotions. Not my spam folders. Nothing. It's on nothing at all. So, yeah, it's not there. So, all right. Feel free to ask me anything you want to know, ladies and gentlemen. I try to be an open book. Now, you hear you say that all the time, but still, all is good, ladies and gentlemen. All is good. So, if you have anything else to say, from Colin, I didn't hear that it passed. I know it was still going to its reading. What were some of the links that you had, Mr. MacArthur? Well, it has been a life of victory. It's been a struggle. I have my bad days too. I still suffer from my PTSD. That doesn't hold me back. I don't use that as a crutch. That's just the way it is. Some situations I have to step back and reassess and, okay, this isn't good. And just be real. That's the thing. But the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, when you talk with somebody who has PTSD, never talk down to them. Never treat them like a child. Never treat them like they're mentally challenged. It doesn't go away. It's not one of those things you can just wish away and just hide and forget about. You can't drink it away. You can't fuck it away. It's there. So to my audience out there, if you come across somebody who has PTSD based on experiences, listen to what they have to say. Right? And if you know somebody who is suffering from that, get them some help. That's all you got to do. And being compassionate towards individuals with PTSD is not a great chore. It's just, just listening. That's what happens. You got to listen to some people when they have it. So you can't just forget about it and ignore it. It comes back and hits you. And contrary to the popular belief, ladies and gentlemen, you do not get it from reading paragraphs. You don't get PTSD from reading a scary story or a paragraph that disagrees with a certain journalist or politician. That's just being a coward. Right? How many journalists have we heard about on the mainstream media who said they got PTSD from firing a gun from the first time, or reading disagreeing paragraphs against their stance on this politician or this platform? Right? Yeah, we know it's bullshit. You get it from experience, from witnessing and seeing things and doing things, not by reading. So, if you're dealing with a scary story and that triggers you somehow, that's based on an experience. But if you got PTSD just from solely reading something, then Stephen King would be out of a job. Right? Right. Yeah, that's right. That's being Canadian. Regroup, rearm, re-engage. And reorg, too. You got to reorg. You got to organize things. And there's some hard truths you learn about yourself. Right. I was reliant on a lot of alcohol. And some of the pills that I was given in regards to my depression, and I thought my heart rate was going through the roof. That really increased my weight gain quite a bit too. And even when I quit the booze for a long time, I was still gaining the weight. What do I do? So I exercised and I ate right, and I wasn't dropping any pounds. That's the thing. I've got a new workout plan I'm working on right now. I'm just keeping it to myself, but I don't get a lot of energy because I'm getting older. I'll be 50 this year, ladies and gentlemen. So, wow, I can't believe I just said that. Oh well, doesn't matter. But yeah, you're right, Derek. Being Canadian, regroup, and re-engage. So, yeah. Well, but needless to say, it gets you, and if you let it get you, it will. And I didn't let it get me. And my wife was a big help. My father was a big help. And the person I talk to every 2 weeks is a big help too. And well, it's up to every individual that knows somebody who has it, that has witnessed some terrible things. Don't be afraid to talk to people. And I mean really, really talk. Like I'm with you. Telephone, Zoom meetings, whatever conference platform or whatever software you have. Do not hesitate to get out and speak to people about it. And awareness is there. We don't need to beat that dead horse. We got to bring awareness. Yeah, we do got to bring awareness. But we have to be realistic about it too. And it's not just soldiers that go through it. Police officers, firefighters, paramedics, and a lot of ER staff too. Some of the things they see, especially when you're dealing with children, some of the heinous things they've seen in the name of medicine, in the name of helping people too. So if you hear someone's struggling, get to know what they're struggling with and just say, yeah, okay, I'm listening. What can I do for you? And the individual says you can't do a goddamn thing. Okay, then just step back. Don't take it personally, right? But just let them know that there's someone there who gives a shit. And that's where it comes from. I mean, another few minutes, ladies and gentlemen, before I shut this down. Feel free to ask me anything you want to know. You can see me on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, YouTube, of course. Look for that email again, Miss Muskrat. See, it hasn't come yet. Have you got the email right? No, it hasn't come yet. I'll just refresh the page again. No, it hasn't come yet. No, nothing has come yet. So, like, I even signed out of my my page too and re-signed in. Nothing's come yet, Miss Muskrat. Right? It's about taking time to open up, reflect, and use resolve to re-engage. Every elephant ever eaten. Well, that's the thing. I like the analogy. I do like the analogy. Don't think of myself as an elephant. But still, no, that's good. That is a good thing. But like I say, ladies and gentlemen, it takes time, and it takes time to heal. And it doesn't just happen overnight. Like I say, you can't drink it away. You can't fuck it away. It's there. It lingers. It's like when you watch the old movies and you've got the devil on one side and the angel on one side. Oh, go for it. Oh, do it. Right? That's what it sometimes comes down to. It's the black and the white. It's the dark and the angel and the devil. Right? Sometimes the demons come up and say, hello, how are you? Just checking in to see if you're still in that self-pity mode. Yes. I'm not trying to insult my British friends there, but You know what I mean? Right? What needs to say? Menacing muskrat. Do you think this climate change BS because of Planet X is in our solar system? Well, it's not because of another planet. It's because there are shitheads in the United Nations and the World Economic Forum that want to contain and control our livelihoods. That's my best guess. I highly suggest you look up Dr. Patrick Moore, Canadian from Vancouver Island, one of the founding members of Greenpeace in the 1960s. He has quite the talk on the climate change hype. There's also a Danish businessman who actually has some insight. I forget his name offhand. But those gentlemen have been called everything in the book when it comes to climate. And Dr. Moore actually studied ecology, right? And he has tons of facts and figures about the ice, about rock, about formations, about the extinction events that happened billions of years ago, 60,000 years ago, 40,000 years ago. So I'm a firm believer in keeping things clean and tidy, but I'm also a firm believer in proper progress, meaning we have the best gas in the world. We have the cleanest ways of extracting it and refining it. We have the best LNG. We have the best means to create power and energy for the masses in this country. And some of our nuclear workers, people that work in the nuclear field, that actually know what they're doing, they've built some pretty cool reactors back out east, right? And I know for a fact that once Chernobyl happened, there was a company in Ontario that was called up to help rebuild or to get insight on how to maintain a nuclear reactor properly so there wouldn't be any more meltdowns again, ironically enough. And then the Cold War stopped and things opened up. You know what I mean? So, but I don't buy it. I don't buy the climate change because there's a planet in our solar system. Without the sun, we have nothing, right? We had some cold record days here in Alberta in December and January, respectively. That's been going on since I moved here in 2008. I remember as a kid some record snowfalls in the wintertime. No one complained about the climate. The biggest concern was acid rain and garbage in our rivers. In the 90s, it became a thing about recycling, right? And their concern was the ozone layer. That was their big concern at the time too. Now it's, oh my God, climate change, climate emergency. I don't buy it because if there's such an emergency, what plans are laid out in case the seas rise or in case the earth opens up? What kind of plans and projections do they have for us, the masses, to get into in case there is an actual emergency, right? So that's the thing. Derek Sittler, yes, climate change is just like a pandemic, psyops to divide and control the masses. Exactly, right? We know where to go to the bathroom. We know where to put our cans and our plastic and our bottles and our garbage, respectively, right? See, I'd be impressed if they talked about climate change and how to innovate, and if they come up with a system that can extract the methane gas from landfills and farms. You got a fuel source or a heat source right there. Right? There's an idea. If they come up with the innovation of that, if they come up with the innovation where you can contain enough energy from the sun to charge your batteries, let's say for a month while you drive your car, I would probably be impressed. Right? How come we're not tapping into geothermal? How come we're not creating products, i.e. hemp, that can create a great biodiesel, create clothing, food, right? Paper materials. Why aren't we planting enough of that? You can still make hemp without the THC, that'll get you all high, and still use that product to make bricks. Like I said, bricks, clothing, fuel, food, fantastic. A lot of third world countries could use some good bricks. You know, if you're going to give away our military kit and give away bullets and beans and cash prizes, you could bloody well give some hemp bricks to the less fortunate out there, right? So. Let's see. Their cure to climate change involves buying offset credits, not from God, not from Gaia, but taxation sent instead of crooked organizations. Well, that's the thing, taxing us to this to save the planet, when Canada's emissions are roughly 1.6% on the global scale. So we got nothing to worry about. My concern is with China and industrialized India that constantly throws plastic waste into their water systems and river systems too, right? They've been seen doing it. They're caught doing it too. China still burns quite a bit of coal. And I'm not against coal entirely. It can be very, very effective. But our friends in Germany has had to stoop and use coal again. Britain might have to use coal again because some of the ridiculous prices they're being charged to turn their lights on and use their stove and to use fuel, right? They got smaller cars than us. So, that's the thing. Yeah. There's that individual from Holland who found ways to clean up the ocean. And no one praised him, but they praised Greta for being a poor little girl in pigtails to promote the whole, stop what you're doing. How dare you? I think that individual is about 25 now, a Dutch innovator who created a company that goes out and cleans up the oceans. I forget his name. I actually had the link pasted on one of my pages, and I've had to redo my computer again. But it speaks for itself, right? Right? Well, because you're a politician, because you're a rich guy, you get a credit for it, which basically means nothing. It's pennies, right? But if you and I want to fly anywhere, if my wife and I want to fly anywhere, if we want to go here, go there, we got to pay the extra for the carbon tax on the fuel burn, which isn't going to help anything. It just goes to the government's pocket or the company's pocket. It's not saving the world, right? But the world's not in danger. My concern with any kind of devastating action would be if World War III starts up and someone gets antsy with a red little button that fires a nuke someplace. That's my biggest concern about emergency, not the oceans, not the tides coming up. Right? That's my concern. What say you? We'll get a couple more minutes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to shut this down. So I have to cook dinner for my lovely wife. But needless to say, I like doing these live streams because of you out there. My wonderful audience, give yourselves a round of applause. That's right. If you like to hear what you see, please click like and subscribe. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You can also find my podcast on Spotify and Amazon. Just look for the Crusty Canuck podcast, and my little logo you see in the right-hand corner there will pop up on the screen for you. Check out my latest episode 204. Bud Light and more BS for the masses. Please check that out too. All right. So please, ladies and gentlemen, send me all your questions. I'm going to be shutting this down in the next 2 minutes. And then I'll have to see you in another couple of weeks when I'm done my work schedule. And we'll try this again, too. So 2 weeks from tonight, I will definitely try another live stream for you, my wonderful followers and audience out there alike. And come out and say hello. I'm trying to broaden this international, too. Trying to get some more international listeners out there, too. But before I go, please, ladies and gentlemen, please tell me where you're from. Not have to tell me your exact hometown, but your province and country, if you can, or your state and country, or your area. Please let me know. I'm in Wainwright, Alberta, ladies and gentlemen. Wainwright, Alberta, Canada. So. Nice to meet you too, Miss Menacing. Well, that's great, Miss Menacing. That's good to see. Good to see Northern Canada. Outstanding. And if I was wrong about anything about the fossil fuel industry, please correct me. But I also know the ethics and the standards of this country are far superior than any of our friends in Saudi Arabia, Nigeria, Venezuela, and even the dirty parts of Russia. So I will, Derek. Thank you. Thank you for coming out. As always, you're always welcome here in the podcast with your questions and your queries. Do not be shy next time. So good to see you, Menacing. Good to see you, Derek. Derek, you said you're from Peterborough, right? Right. Buzmooski from Toronto, Ontario, center of the known universe, according to some Torontonians, right? Exactly. Way they get a load of me, right? So. Will do. Tornado, Ontario. Yes. Toronto, tornado. All right. Anybody else, please weigh in. Let me know where you're from, where you're writing me from, where you're watching from. Okay. And I'll try to make a trend of doing this every time I do a live stream, just before I sign off, to see where I was writing or watching from, too. So. Yes, I believe he is. You want me answering? Yes, Chris Guy is running. So is Anthony Fury, one of the contributors and writers for True North Media. He's running too. So there's an idea, right? Yeah. Tornado. I am from Tornado, Ontario. Yes. How you doing? Cockroach. That's right. But yeah, Tirana. So whereabouts in Toronto, Buzz? Are you north of the city? Or are you central? East, west? Because I used to live in Newmarket many moons ago. So. North York. North York. Yeah, my dad used to be a firefighter in North York. And then when it became the mega city, he spent his last 3 or 4 years as a Toronto firefighter. All the same thing. He got the same pay, same pension and everything, but it was 30 years of service to the city of Toronto he was recognized for. So that's a good thing. True. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I do have a dog here. I've got 2 dogs. So I've got 2 dogs here. So anyway, just give me a sec here. Just let it ring, babe. Yeah, I got 2 puppies. So I just don't feel like showing them off right now. So, but anyhow, it's all good. Let's see here. Yes, I agree. And I would love to be out there marching and protesting too. And I'd love to speak at some of these events as well. We don't have enough speakers per se. And I would try not to swear, but a part of me is so angry on how the leadership in this country has dealt with some of the crisis. And I would want to call them all out. So I would love to do nothing but get out there and protest. Thing is, it's time and money, and we both know how expensive gasoline is and groceries. And I gotta pay my mortgage. That's my priority. I gotta pay my mortgage. And luckily, we haven't been stung with the interest rates because we got into a fixed plan, so we're good. But needless to say, I would love nothing to get out there, Derek, with these all. Wave the flag, and I'd love to speak. I would love to speak and just show the people that, yeah, the average person can do this. But thank you very much. Thank you very much. The China flag. Canada. Yes, I hear you. That's just cheeky. So. Well, true, Buzz. That's true. WF has its hand in a lot of things. And we got politicians that just love it because it's a slap and tickle to them and our wallets. Right? So, anyway, Derek, I will. We'll keep this podcast going. Try to keep things up and running. And try to be as real as possible and sincere as possible. But we can't take any more crap. Anyhow, gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen, I have to call this off now. I'm going to make dinner for my loving wife and I. Anyhow, I hope nothing but good things for you all. Thank you once again for coming out. A round of applause for you all there, because all you are wonderful. And thank you, once again, Miss Menacing Muskrat, for showing up and saying hello. You're all welcome here. Everyone's welcome here. Please share this content all over your social media platforms, to my YouTube viewers and all that too. Don't forget to click the little notification bell to let you know when things are going on. This will be my live stream playlist, so if you want to check it out later, you can. To my friends on Rumble, thank you once again. You guys are awesome too. And my Facebook friends, don't be shy. And every time I post something on Facebook or Instagram, don't hesitate to comment. I'm getting a lot of spam on Instagram to post this here, post that there. and it's probably just a lot of scammers. But still, don't hesitate to comment on anything I post. Thumbs up and all that good stuff too. Density, sick beer, thank you. Well, nice little goatee. Thanks for coming out, Density. Appreciate that. A little too late, but hey, better late than never. Thanks for coming out. Yeah, I have to trim this though too. I'm getting that old Fu Manchu thing going on there, so I might just trim down a bit. It's funny how I can grow more hair on my face than I can my head. Maybe I should go to the Hair Club for Men or something, become a client. If you guys remember those commercials. But so, well, you're more than welcome. Channel info too. You can find me on, like say, Facebook. You can find me, like say, on Instagram. You can find me on YouTube too. I try to keep updates on there. Find me on Getter and Twitter. I'm getting a lot of traffic on my Twitter. So if you want to join me on Twitter, you can. Once I get a few more bucks in the bank, I might branch out to Twitter. And when I do a live here, I'll include my Twitter channel as well. Thank you, Elon Musk, for that innovation. But still, by all means, check me all out if you want to. Biker vibes. Well, I'm not a biker. Sorry, I'm not a biker. I don't own a motorcycle. I had a camper and I had a car. I wasn't using the car anymore, so I sold it. And the camper we just never used, so I sold that too. But I do drive a nice truck. I think it's a nice truck. It's my truck. It's awesome. But I'm not a biker, so yeah. Just look for Crusty Canuck. Look for the logo. In fact, if you want to follow me on Twitter, ladies and gentlemen, all I'll do is I'll post my Twitter feed here in the comments, and you can check me out anytime you desire. Just keep it clean, nothing vulgar or filthy, and you can see me there. And there's my Twitter feed. So don't be shy, ladies and gentlemen. Come out and say hello, whatever, and I'll try to keep things posted. Keep things real for you is all there too. Density. Well, yeah, I'm proud of the British heritage. Yeah. Regular Union Jack is there. Maple Leaf, country I fought for. I was born in Canada. My parents were born in Canada. My grandparents were born in Canada. So I'm not British. You can say I'm a British descendant. But if it wasn't for Britain and France, we wouldn't have Canada as we see it today. The other flag is the Red Ensign, Canada's first national flag, prior to the Maple Leaf, that actually understood Canada. But yeah, I can identify as, as a British descendant. But first and foremost, my heart belongs to Canada, home and native land, right? We stand in guard for thee. It's that simple, folks. Anyway, thank you all for coming out. Thank you, Density, for the questions. Thank you, Menacing Muskrat. Thank you very much, Buzz Mooski, Derek Sittler, Colin MacArthur, and everybody else who has come out and just observed quietly and watched behind their console. Yes, diabol. I have been Crusty Canuck on this beautiful 11th of April, 2023. 2 weeks from now, I'll be in another live stream, but please check out my channels on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter alike. You can find the podcast on Spotify, Amazon, and Podbean, and also on growradio.uk. I've added something there too. So please don't hesitate to check out the show. Send me comments, send me queries. If you want to get a hold of me, a lot of that information is also in my descriptions in my videos too. So don't hesitate to send me an email. I do have snail mail address there too. You want to send me some Gucci kit. You want to support me too financially, you can. There's links in there too, the Buy Me a Coffee app and the Stripe app. Send what you can to. Every little bit helps. But I'm not going to demand it. That's up to you, my wonderful audience, to decide for yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. But like I say, thank you once again for coming out. I am very, very grateful to you wonderful people out there. Thanks for giving me a chance. And I'll hopefully see you in 2 weeks or maybe sometime sooner. Like I say, I've been Crusty Canuck on this beautiful 11th of April, 2023. I wish nothing but good things for you all out there. Stand firm, stand for what's right, for honesty, family, integrity, and your country. Anyway, take care, folks, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. Cheers. And always remember, too, humanity and merit wins the day. Take care. See you next time. Bye for now.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me. There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthless.
This has been another episode of the Crusty Canuck podcast. Stay sane and thank you for listening. From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast.